give Palestine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Loki, for the iconic song. Next speaker is Chris Rose. He's the director of Amos Trust. That's a human rights organization working to promote the rights of street children, supporting communities in Nicaragua and campaigning for the justice in Palestine. Please welcome Chris Rose to the stage.
Hello, good evening. How do you follow Loki? That was fantastic. I'm here to say a few things very quickly. There is no excuse, no justification for what we've seen in East Jerusalem over the last week. There's no justification for the bombings in Gaza. There's no excuse for it. There is no security threat which could ever justify attacking Al-Aqsa Mosque. I stand here as an ordained Anglican minister to denounce what's been happening and the attacks on the mosque there. There is no legal case for driving the population out of Sheikh Jarrah. There is no planning regulation which could ever justify demolishing houses in Jerusalem and demolishing across the West Bank. It's a basic lie of the occupation. As our friends have told us and our partners across Palestine, this is an ongoing Nakba, squeezing Palestinians out of their homes and land, using apartheid planning laws, using the full force of the Israeli army, using the occupation policies and practices and disinformation to take Palestinian land and to take their future. We've stood here far too many times. We've stood outside number 10 far, far too many times. We've asked our government to back what we're saying far, far too many times. We've demanded they take action and they've done nothing. But we're going to keep on coming back. We're going to keep on coming here. We're going to keep on demanding action. We'll keep on saying they must do action until the day comes when they throw open those gates and they walk out and they realise they've been on the wrong side of history for far, far too long. The Palestinians are not going anywhere and we're not going anywhere. We stand in solidarity. It's a long road ahead, but change will come. Just last week we saw the Methodist Church divest from Caterpillar. Change will come. We can change the future and we must change the future. It's a long road. We will get there one step at a time. One day justice will come to Palestine. Free, free Palestine.
Thank you, Chris. If anyone, a bit of housekeeping, if anyone has lost their car keys, we've found some car keys. Please come to the stage if you have lost your car keys. I would now like you to welcome to the stage a young woman. She's a Palestinian. She's a student. She's here representing an organization called ASAP, the Association of Student Activism for Palestine. Please welcome Massa. Hey guys. I know it's very difficult to get here. I know Eid might be tomorrow. There's COVID, there's exam season, but look at this turnout. I mean, all of this for Palestine. Come on. My name is Massa. I'm a student at Essex, a part of a PALSOC. I just wanted to remind you that at times like this, at times when Palestine depends on our support, at times when Palestine depends on spreading awareness, when Palestine depends on voicing the voices, when Palestine depends on boycotting, divesting, and sanctioning, as Palestinians struggle to protect their own homes, families, and friends, as they struggle to survive. As they struggle to protect Jerusalem from violent racists and oppressors, they try to take over. It's times like this that your small society and your solidarity group plays a massive role on the ground in Palestine. See, Israel didn't merely colonize our land, Israel colonized our minds. It's put most of its efforts and focus on not just the colonization of the minds of Palestinians, but pro-Palestinians. They want us to think it's hopeless. They want us to think it's useless. As Omar Barghouti, the co-founder of BDS, said, Israel's reaction to BDS is very much along the line of Gandhi's famous statement. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. And we are in the then they fight you part. Here's to winning. This government, guys, we all stand here today as citizens with dignity and freedom of speech, demanding that the British government, public bodies, and civil society hold Israel accountable and take meaningful action to prevent the further ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians. The British government, public bodies, and civil society must not condemn an act of defense by Palestinians and continue to support and remain silent when Israel murders our children, attacks our worshippers, burns our trees, assaults our citizens, and steals our homes. You must recognize that the laws of Israel are inherently discriminatory and used to implement an ethnic cleansing of my people. But finally, I'd like to remind you all that we've gotten so used to the numbers, the statistics, we've become numb. We got so used to seeing destruction and tragedy in Palestine that when they kill our children on bikes, we don't consider it news anymore. But I'm here to remind you that these aren't numbers, they're names, they're stories, they're siblings, they're parents, they're children, they are people like you and I. So when the people of Sheikh Jarrah and Gaza are under attack, what do? We stand up and fight back. So when the people of Sheikh Jarrah and Gaza are under attack, what do? When the people of Sheikh Jarrah and Gaza are under attack, what do? Thank you guys, have a great day. Thank you, Masa. I just want to make an announcement. The organizations that have organized today's protest are calling another demonstration on Saturday. This Saturday, we will assemble at midday at Marble Arch. Be there! Ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker is Lindsay German, the convener of Stop the War. Please introduce her to the stage. Free!
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. You may not know if you're in front of the stage, but there are even more people behind you on the stage. There are thousands of people here tonight protesting about the treatment of the Palestinians, the ethnic cleansing which is going on in Jerusalem as we speak, the repression of the people of Gaza. And we are here to say we defend the right of the Palestinians to resist against the occupation, against the repression, against all of these things. And the best thing that we can do in this country is we are resisting as well. And that is what we are doing here tonight. We are demonstrating in support of the Palestinians. And when they say to us, the Israelis are just defending themselves against violence, that is one of the biggest lies that we are hearing around the world. The Israelis defending themselves against violence. They have created the violence. They created the violence of the Nakba. They created the violence of the occupied territory. They created the violence of the illegal settlements. And they are now trying to make Palestinians pay the price. And this isn't just about Israel. This is also about what Donald Trump did when he moved the American embassy to Jerusalem. It's about how they gave the green light to the settlements in the occupied territories. It's about the siege of Gaza. And that isn't just Trump. Biden is doing the same thing from the US government. It is shameful what the US government is doing in defense of the Israeli state. And it is shameful what the people over there in Downing Street are doing, because they are complicit in this repression. So what I want us to say tonight is, we will resist our government as well as what Israel is doing. We are resisting a government which causes racism at home and imperialism abroad. We are against a government which makes people get poorer and poorer and does nothing to help the poor. We are with the Palestinians in every way that we can be. And what we're saying today is, we will keep protesting while this ethnic cleansing is going on. So thanks for coming tonight. Be there on Saturday, demonstrate at the embassy, and let's show the Palestinian people solidarity with them exists worldwide. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lindsay. It's now my pleasure to introduce to the stage an activist with Black Lives Matter. Yes, it's Joshua Virasami. Joshua!
Wagwan! Let me move this thing. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Can everybody hear me? There's a lot of commotion. There's a rot going on, but I'm gonna try and speak as loud as I can. Right. I want to thank you for inviting Black Lives Matter to come here, and I'm very proud to make this statement from Black Lives Matter UK. Watching Palestinians being torn from their homes in broad daylight in Sheikh Jarrah reminds us once more that we cannot cower in the face of propaganda, that we must use our voice wherever we can to decry the occupation of Palestine. This courage to speak reminds me of Thomas Sankara. Does anybody know Thomas Sankara? He was the revolutionary leader of Burkina Faso before he was killed by the same forces that prop up the occupation of Palestine. He used this podium at the United Nations, the highest home of hypocrisy, and he said, and he spoke truth to power, he said, I speak out in indignation as I think of the Palestinians. I think of the valiant Palestinian people, the families which have been splintered and split up and are wandering throughout the world. He knew, Thomas Sankara knew, like many revolutionaries, like the revolutionaries who guide the spirit of BLM organ around the world, that Palestinian liberation, in Palestinian liberation lies the freedom of Black people. That our struggle for liberation is a global one. Our struggle for liberation is an interconnected one. That in resistance to Western imperialism, lies the seeds of a freer world. Israel said, "Look, colonialism is not a scar on the conscience of humanity." I'm competing with these guys, you know. I want to be there. Israel said, "Look, colonialism is not a scar on the conscience of humanity. It's not fish. It is a which for decades has unsingly drawn aid across the Palestinians, across the Syrians, across the Egyptians, across the Lebanese, and other peoples across the South. Israel props up neo-colonial regimes around the world. It provides technology and weapons and trainings for various regimes like Colombia. There was a protest today about Colombia, the US regime. Colombia is backed by Israel. There should never be a place for such barbarism in the world. And all sensitive people, people who believe in liberty, people who believe in self-determination, and who believe in peace, remain silent in the face of this retarded. But words too are not enough. It's because we're here demonstrating. We must push our political representatives. We must continue to put economic pressure on the spineless capitalists who from the occupation of Palestine. We must show these companies. We must need to boycott, divest, and sell. These companies are British companies. They have headquarters in Holborn. We should be outside there blockading them day and day out. As Black Panther Party, as the Black Panther Party, the VP Newton once said, Israel maintained by Western firepower. Firepower holds from here, so we should stop that firepower. Free the intifada.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker on our stage today, Mona Kajani. She's a Palestinian academic and a member of Al-Aqsa Palestinian Policy Network. She's Jerusalem and she is one of the families that is facing eviction in Sheikh Jarrah. Please listen and welcome her to the stage. Thank you all for a lovely gathering. It feels so much to us people in Sheikh Jarrah and Jerusalem to see you all here. I stand with you today as a mother and granddaughter of proud Jerusalemites. Their story is the story of millions of Palestinians. It's the story of struggle to exist in a homeland stolen by colonialism. My grandparents became refugees, forced to leave their brutal home in Baqa neighborhood in what came to be known as West Jerusalem, a land we are forbidden to return to. They found refuge in Sheikh Jarrah. They built a loving home, planted trees to nurture in the land, and we're part of a strong-knit community. As children, we felt safe in Sheikh Jarrah. We got by Jerusalem, living in the heart of the city. We naming it as a space for our being. We also knew that the threat of unlawful expansion beyond us, and that Israel is a colonial state. The US would just protect their organizations. Our attempt to erase sense of land. This is not a new struggle. We've been battling with settler organizations for decades. We have no faith in the courts. Simply institutions cater to Zionist aspirations, utilize and remove us from the our side. They don't see us as equal human beings who stay in the house, who want justice and live in our city. Sheikh Jarrah residents, they define fastness, and it is humbling and powerful. We have witnessed the last few days, as Palestinians over Palestine. I've been standing in a barrack